Hello, dreamers, and welcome back to Dream Queen by Perla. As always, guys, thank you for all your love and support. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. And if you haven't done so, I encourage you to do so. It helps with growing the channel, getting the video out there for more people, as well as keeping me accountable. For personal readings, so that information can be found down below in the description. So, Pisces Aries Cusp. There is a sense here of needing to stop crying over spilled milk. Whatever that spilled milk is in your life is going to be different for everyone. Now, again, guys, these are general readings, so only take whatever applies in your own personal life. Now, there's something that you're still upset about, or that you still haven't really fully let go of. It was the situation or something that you felt was unfair or whatever it was. So now this movie is coming to mind, and I cannot remember the name because I've only seen it once. And it's about three mother. What is it called? No, it's not that one. Uh. Okay, it's called Otherhood. 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 It's just one word. And it came back, it came out on Netflix anyways, back in 2019. Hold on, let me respond to my kids. Okay. Anyways, the whole point or the whole gist of the situation was there were three females who were really close friends. And their three husbands for many years took a fishing trip. And in this fishing trip, one of them was caught cheating. But in reality, all three of them were cheating. One of the whole gist comes around, there's one of them who, the whole point was about like surprising their kids, like they feel like their kids are kind of like pulled away from them and stuff like that. But in the midst of that, one of them, the one whose husband passed away, never knew at the moment that her husband had cheated all those years. So she finds out because the two other friends tell them, right? Because she kind of like was acting like she was almighty, like better or whatever it was, right? And I'm talking about like the perception of the movie, like the way that it was shown, right? And then there was the one that I guess initially found out that her husband was cheating was the one that got divorced and got remarried. And the other friend decided to forgive her husband and stay in the marriage. Now, why am I bringing this up? The one that got divorced, like years later, we're talking about like 10 years later, or whatever it was still angry and was still throwing in his face to the ex-husband what he had done. And she had not let go of that. And she was putting in jeopardy the relationship with her new husband, even though he wasn't that new. They had been together for a year. But it's almost kind of like that. So if something came to an end, if something finished for you in your life, you have to figure out a way to make peace with it so that you don't ruin what it is that you have now, so that you don't sabotage yourself from opportunities that are presenting themselves for you in this moment, right? So, and we all have different things, right? I could sit here and dwell on the fact that I am no longer working as a nurse. Yes, I talk about it, and I talk about it in reference as to what my experience was with that, right? What I went through when it came to that, how I felt, and how I was able to come out of that. But I don't look at it anymore as something that I lost or something that I'm always going to be sad about or angry about. You know what? It happened. It had to happen for a reason, because I needed a kick in the butt when it came to certain things, and it is what it is, right? So it is almost kind of like that, right? If I would have still been in a space of dwelling over my doctor telling me once I was diagnosed, like, hey, you can't go, we're gonna give you a year and then you're gonna be done if we can't find medication, then I would never be doing this. I would have never gotten to a place where I was comfortable enough doing what it is that I'm doing, right? I'm comfortable with doing this, but I'm talking about like being on YouTube, right? Being on a video to show people that I don't even freaking know, right? So it's kind of like that energy where a lot of you are holding on to something that has ended, and you have failed to see how that aspect or that part of your life was meant to help you grow and evolve, and it wasn't meant to put you in a pity party. And I feel that when it comes to a certain area in your life, there is a pity party that you're kind of throwing for yourself, right? If and it's kind of like, okay, somebody agonizing over the fact that they looked a certain way before they had kids, and now they just recently had a kid, and they're grieving the body that they had, and again, everybody grieves everything differently, and there's no judgment here, but because you're grieving the body that you had, you're not appreciating the body that you have now. That body that, even if you got stretch marks, even if it got big or whatever it was able to bring life into this world, right? So by holding on to something so tight, you're failing to celebrate or to embrace what it is that is in front of you at this moment in time. And that is where you're being asked to take a closer look. What has ended for you? That, because you have to also remember, right? When something ends, is to give room to something new to give birth to. So something new to be created. So what is it that you're meant to create? What is it that you're meant to bring to birth during this time when something has ended for you? And again, these are general messages for everybody is going to be different, but you have to stop crying over what it is that has ended, over what it is that, over that lost. Now, when I say that, I am not saying to ignore your grieving stages, but also to realize if you're stuck. If you're stuck and you're not willing to even entertain a different perception when it comes to that lost or to what has ended. Where is this card here? This one is always like, there's always a few cards that are always kind of like, I need to make my new spinner. I have all the stuff, but I still haven't done it. Because this one is getting a little small. It is a small compared to other cards that I have. So let's go ahead and let's pull out a couple of tarot just to clarify for you guys. So we have the Five of Cups, obviously. We have the Page of Pentacles in the reverse with the Three of Pentacles in the upright position. So you're still dwelling as far as like how much time or how much work you invested in something for it to just be ripped away from you, or for something to just had ended. If this is a relationship, you're dwelling on all the time, all the years that you spent with somebody. If this is a job that you're no longer with, you're dwelling on the fact of how much time and energy, how many birthday parties you miss, how many Christmas party you miss. Like you're dwelling on everything that it took for you, and it's almost kind of like, how dare you take anything more from me? Well, sweetie, the only one taking anything from you at this moment is yourself by dwelling in this. So you need to make peace with what has ended and kind of move on with your life. And I'm not giving you and I'm not saying that again to be mean or anything like that. I'm not telling you that it has to be done in a month. I'm not telling you that it has to be done in a week. A lot of times when we hold on to things so tightly is because we are unwilling to face the part of the grieving process that comes with when things end, right? So we tend to get stuck in a certain aspect of it. So allow yourself to go through the entire grieving process so that this loss or this end no longer has a hold on you. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to pull out a love energy card. Now this can be relationship. This can be Okay, I'll pull out another one. This can be relationship, this can be self-love, or this can be passion for your career or a hobby. I don't know why they're asking me to pull out another card because there's only been one. So we have retreat. It is time to disconnect from the world. So you definitely have to go within yourself in order to grieve this. This is not something that necessarily has to be done publicly. This is not something that you have to let everybody know that you're dealing with or going through or whatever it is. This is something that you need to take care of though. And then we have children, which says your love life is being affected by children. So whatever it is, this may have been something that maybe happened to you when you were a child, or maybe it's something that is affecting your children, your grandchildren, whatever it may be. And you have to understand when we talk about like generational curses, it doesn't always have to be something big. A generational curse can just be a your perception of money, right? The lack of, right? Where you always feel like you're lacking money, and then you pass that on to your children pass that on to your grandchildren. It can be a lack of joy, right? Not letting or allowing yourself to experience joy, and then you pass that down, and then your kids pass that down to their kids. And a lot of the times we want to talk about generational curses and we only look at the bigger things, not realizing that those little things are the ones that usually lead to bigger curses when we talk about generational curses. So that is something for you to think about this week, and really get your mind in the game when it comes to going through this grieving process, guys. So let's go ahead and let's pull out a closing message, and let's see what we have. Give me one card, Spirit. Crystals and herbs. Number 12. Oh, what medicine was sacredness to behold. A dash of healing stray from mother's home, excuse me. So there is a sense here, healing is calling you. And again, we cannot put a time frame when it comes to healing. To some people, time itself helps, and to other people, it's just literally looking at things from a more logical perspective helps them when it comes to healing. And some people have to go through dealing with every single emotion and feeling as the surface. Now, every situation is different, and just because somebody heals or get over something in a different way than you do, it doesn't make your way better or theirs any better. It doesn't make any way the right way. We're all built different, and you have to give yourself the space to heal from this once and for all. Well, guys, that is all that I have. Sending every single one of you love, strength, and blessing, guys. Take care. Love you all. Mwah. Bye-bye.